Well, it's Friday the 14th of September. The space weather this week is hard to disentangle from my own chart and my own mind for micro rather than macro reasons. But this week I was due to talk about finances and my accountant got in touch to the exact day. Even I booked our return holiday flights for our big trip next year exactly on the day it was auspicious to do so, but I only realised later in the week that this was the case. And the full moon coming up this month is in my 9th house, both good for travel and good for finishing intellectual work. And as the universe would have it, I'll be in Amsterdam at the end of the month to give 3 talks in 4 days, all 3 of which I still need to write. And because of today's space weather specifically, I wanted to check that this was all something I should speak aloud. So I thought I'd pull a random card just before starting recording this, and I got the 8 of Wands. A card that I understand as doing, to end a period of delay and stagnation, and it suggests action. Exciting times ahead, and also is good for travel. So there you have it. That was the intro to episode 1823 of Permanently Moved, a personal podcast 301 seconds in length, written, recorded, and edited in 1 hour by me at the JMO. I tweeted the other day that the amount of human energy and attention given to consumerism, and especially tech product cycles, is quite frankly a profligate waste of physical and mental resources. Don't at me. In case you didn't know, Apple have got some new phones out this week. Do you really care? No, I thought not. Do you need a new phone? Probably not. Do you need an Apple Watch at all? Probably not. In the 10 years that they've been out, these items, these tools have gone from new and amazing bits of technology to run-of-the-mill consumer items. I don't know about you, but I just really don't see the point in a live blog to a product announcement. I'm not sure if Russell and Hobbs do live blogs for their new toasters, but, you know, the consumerist tech industry is weird. That is, of course, to say that I haven't done my time in front of the live blogs or watching live stream tech product announcements. But in 2018, I just no longer see the point. And the fact that there's even a new phone at all on a yearly or 18-monthly upgrade cycle just makes me angry. In 2015, the sci-fi writer and journalist Tim Morn wrote a piece for the BBC called The Dystopian Lake Filled by the World's Tech Lust. I highly recommend you read it if you haven't read it already, and it will be linked in the description. In that article, he has a line, quote, "Once we made watches with minerals mined from the earth and treated them like precious heirlooms. Now we use even rarer minerals and will want to upgrade them yearly. Technology companies continue to urge us to upgrade, to buy the newest tablet or phone, but I cannot forget that it all begins in a place like Baotou, and a terrible toxic lake that stretches to the horizon." I've also recently watched a documentary called The Toys That Made Us. There's 2 seasons on Netflix, and I highly recommend watching them if you have an account. But one of the things that came to me while I was watching it is that none of the people involved in the 80s toy industry show any remorse for filling our planet full of utter shit. And in fact, while watching it, I felt remorse for all the POTF Star Wars toys that I collected as a teenager. Why? Plastic everywhere. I also recently watched a documentary about Britain's rubbish dumps, and it was amazing. There's a guy that pushes the rubbish around in a JCB bulldozer all day, every day. He spreads and sculpts the rubbish to make sure that there aren't build-ups of methane on the surface that might explode during the operation of the site. His longer-term task, a task that he's had for 20 years, is to sculpt the rubbish to look like the surrounding hills around the rubbish dump. I was thinking that he is quite possibly one of the most influential land artists there is living and working in Britain today. And as part of the show, they do an archaeological dig on a rubbish dump from the 80s. It was on the BBC. I highly recommend you watch it if you can. For my part, as I've grown into a 30-something adult, I've tried to reduce my consumption of plastic crap. And to be honest, some of my clothes are quite shabby, but perfectly serviceable. I've saved up to buy things that are more expensive but I know can be maintained rather than going for the cheaper version that is disposable. Shaving with a cutthroat razor instead of a Mach 3 thing is one example. It's exhilarating, dangerous, but you get used to it after a while. Give up soap, shampoo and body wash and only use it for cleaning your hands for food preparation. After a while, your hair is less greasy and far more natural, and you don't ever have to think about it again. I haven't done for 8 years now. This has been Permanently Moved, a podcast in 301 seconds.